Welcome back to the last part of essay 2.0. In last video we have completed up to notch toughness test. Today we will start from identification of plates, how plates are marked. Required marking except as allowed in 13.4, plates shall be legibly marked with the following information. Applicable ASTM designation, for example A516, then G or MT if applicable. G is green material, that means it is not heat treated, and MT is material been heat treated. G or MT if applicable. Then applicable grade, for example grade 60, if there is a type 1, 2, 3 like that, or class maybe 1, 2, 3 or CL, etc. There are alphanumeric classes are there. Then heat number, plate identifier, that is the plate number actually, heat number and plate number. Plate identifier is a plate number, and name, brand or trademark of the manufacturer. Then type of the marking, plate over 6 mm in thickness shall be by steel die stamping unless paint marking is specified by the purchase order. Marking, where the marking has to be on the plate with a maximum lengthwise or crosswise dimension 1800 mm shall be at least 2 places at 300 mm from the edge of the plate, and for the plate dimension less than 1800 mm, only one marking is enough, at least one place on each finished plate, approximately midway between the center and the edge of the plate. Then next is permissible variation, that is tolerance in the dimensions or mass. So mass we don't much worry about it. We'll see the tolerance for the dimensions. For carbon steel plates, the permissible variation for dimension shall not exceed the applicable limit stated in this table. The tables are in annexure A2, table number A2.1 to table A2.9, all this table, and table 213 also. And for alloy steel plate, in the same annexure 2, start from A2.1. So this is our table A2.1. This is tolerance in thickness for rectangular plate. If you see the table is very easy to understand. The first column is specified thickness in millimeters, and then these columns are tolerance over specified thickness for width given in millimeters. These are the widths. For example, we say 12 millimeter plate is ordered and width is 1800 millimeter. Say 1800 millimeter is very normally we get 1800 millimeter. So it is 0.8 millimeter tolerance is allowed. And for 2700 to 3000 millimeter, 1 millimeter is allowed. This is in table A2.2. This is tolerance for the width and length of the plate, 40 mm and under. Less than 40 mm thickness plate. These are the tolerances. And length only for universal mill plates, 65 mm and under in thickness. Then these are the length and width, ordered length and width. Then these are the thicknesses. You can see this. These are the thicknesses, this row. How to refer this? Say our plate is 1800 millimeter wide, so it comes in between 1500 and 2100. Then say our plate is 6 meter long. The width tolerance is 13 mm and length is 25 millimeter. Similarly, for 25 millimeter thick, width tolerance is 22, length tolerance is 38 millimeter. 2.3 permissible variation in rolled width for universal mill carbon steel, high strength low alloy steel plates and alloy steel plates 400 mm and under in thickness. So all the plates for width tolerance is this. These are the specified width, that means ordered width, and these are the variation over the specified width for thickness given here. Suppose our thickness is 12 millimeter, which fall under this, and ordered width is say 500 millimeter. It is here. So tolerance is 6 millimeter. Similarly, for 25 millimeter plate, 10 millimeter is the tolerance. Sometimes plates are ordered in the circular shape, that is cut in the circles. These are the tolerances. A2.4 table, permissible variation in diameter for the shared circular carbon steel, high strength low alloy steel and alloy steel plates 25 millimeter and under. So this is self-explanatory, very easy to understand. Then table A2.5 is the tolerance in width and length for rectangular carbon steel and high strength low alloy steel plates with gas cutting is specified or required. This is also very easy to understand table. Then this A2.6 table is tolerances for circular plates of carbon steel and high strength low alloy steel plates. This is also very easy to understand this table. Next table is A2.7 permissible camber for carbon steel shared or gas cut rectangular plate all thicknesses. What is camber? I would like to show you a photo. Here it is. This is the plate. When you put the plate, the full length is on the floor, on the flat surface, and this is the width on the vertical surface, vertical line, and you can measure here. You see this line, and this is the plate line. So the distance in between is the camber. That is here D is written. That is camber. How much camber is allowed? Here it is written camber as it relates to the plate is the horizontal edge curvature in the length. So it is maximum permissible camber is how much? Allowed is how much? Is equal to length in millimeters divided by 500. For example, you say the length of the plate is 6 meter, that is 6000 millimeter divided by 500, which is equal to 12 millimeter. So 12 millimeter camber is allowed. Now this is also a camber tolerance. A2.8 permissible camber for carbon steel, high strength low alloy steel and alloy steel, universal mill plates and high strength low alloy steel and alloy steel shared or gas cut rectangular plate. So this is as per the width. That is example 750 inclusive width is there, then length divided by plate length. This length is plate length. So suppose it is 6000 millimeter. 6000 millimeter by 300 millimeter camber is allowed for 750 width. But from above 750 to 1500, length divided by 250. This is the flatness tolerance for carbon steel plate, longer plates. So this is permissible variation for the flatness, flat surface for specified width. These are the specified width. Suppose we have ordered 12 millimeter thickness plate and the width of the plate is 1800 millimeter. So flatness is allowed only 16 millimeter. Similarly, for 25 millimeter thick plate, 1800 millimeter width, ordered width, so 14 millimeter only allowed. So if thickness increases, the tolerance go down. So next table is A2.10 permissible variation width and length for the rectangular alloy steel plates when gas cutting is specified or required. This is self-explanatory, very easy. The next table is A2.13. This is the waviness tolerance of the rectangular plate or universal mill plates or circular plates and sketch plates. This baseline is the flatness tolerance from the table A2.9. If suppose the flatness tolerance is 13 and the number of waves in 4000 millimeter is 1, then 13 millimeter waviness is allowed. Similarly, for if there are 5 waves, then this 4 number is 5 waves are allowed. So next is inspection and testing. Here the inspector means the purchaser's inspector. And then what is retest? Retest how much required? For tension test, in addition to the provision of the test method and definitions of A370, the following retest provision shall apply. If any test specimen shows defective machining or develop flaws, it may be discarded and another test specimen substituted. And next is, if the result from a original tension test specimen failed to meet the specified requirement but are within 10 MPa for the tensile strength or within 5 MPa for yield strength or within 2% of the required elongation, one retest shall be permitted to replace the failing test. Then this test, the result of the retest shall meet the specified requirement. Otherwise, all the plates under that heat will fail. 16.2.3 is for the Charpy impact test, Charpy impact retest. If the required value are not obtained on Charpy V-notch retests as specified in 16.2.1, 16.2.2 above, or if the value in the initial tests are below the value required for the retest, no further retest are permitted unless the plate is heat treated or reheat treated. Then this is about rejection. Any rejection based upon product analysis made in accordance with the applicable product specification shall be reported to the suppliers and